Hey there, welcome to this week's episode. It's episode 193, and I want to continue our conversation from last week about the Build, Nurture, Convert framework. And if you missed that episode, listen to this one and then go back and catch that one. I'll put the link in the show notes so you can catch them both. So let's jump in. Let's go.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
Oh my goodness, my friends, how are you doing? I hope your May is ending with a bang and ending well, and that you're happy with how things are going. I've got so much going on lately, and I want to make sure I give you all the scoop and you know what's happening. So I'm finishing up, and it seems to be taking forever. So yeah, I'm sure you can relate to putting the offer together for the Course Profits Accelerator 2.0. And so keep your ears open, get on my email list. It's so cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to work with you on getting your offers together and getting them out there. But today, I want to continue our conversation on the Build, Nurture, Convert framework that I talked to you about last week, because there is so much here that's so essential to your success. And we're going to spend a couple weeks on it. But for now, today, I just want to talk about the build side of things and give you some insights that I usually save for my paying clients, but I thought you would enjoy hearing some of these things. And this is one of those episodes where you need to kind of mull it over, take a few notes, think about it, do a little research. So it might be one that you want to listen to twice, once just to hear it, and then the second time to actually do some of the thinking around some of these concepts and go from there. So a few of the things, if you're getting ready to build your next online course, where should you be starting? And so the first thing I want to have you start with is thinking about who it is that you want to help with your course. What kind of person are they? And, is it women? Is it men? What things that make them unique about who it is that you like to work with. So I'll give you, and I don't mean from a demographics perspective. I mean, like, what kind of people are the perfect folks to work with you? And you may not know this right off the bat, but a good way to start is, if you have been helping anyone, to think about what are some of the unique characteristics that they have. So I'll give you an example. My client, Ruby, is incredible. She was on the podcast, and a few of the things that are so great about her is she's willing to just jump in and do the work. She's also very, very talented at helping her clients, and she knows the big picture, so she understands kind of this is a long-term process, so she's jumping in for the long term. She's also willing to try some different things and like test out, or maybe if something didn't work before, we're going to play with it and try it again. We're also always trying to figure out how quickly can we get something together. So as opposed to, let's take months and months and months to put a course together. That's not how I operate. I want you to get some things out there as fast as possible. So thinking about who you're working with and how you can connect with them. And part of this is you may have 2, 3, who knows how many different kinds of groups who are interested in what it is that you are doing. So here's how I want you to handle that. Make your course fairly generic, and then we're going to take your marketing and focus in the marketing on the different groups. So if I was going to target different coaches like Ruby, that could be one group. And then maybe I have another group that's specifically podcasters who are trying to get more revenue from their podcast. And they have different needs, different thoughts, different worries that they're concerned with. But my course can apply to both of them. So I keep the course at a level that can work for both of them and then I do my marketing to each individual group. So I hope that helps you as you're thinking through your audiences. And kind of connected to this, the second question around this is, do you have any idea how you're going to reach them and how you're going to get in front of them? So that's, the creation, the building part of it is time consuming and quite the mountain hurdle to get through. And then we reach the second mountain, which is how am I going to find them? So if you have some ideas before you're getting going, that's always, always helpful, especially if you could start sort of building that audience early on. So question number 3, and this is a bit of a longer piece, so hang with me on this one. I really want you to think about your customer's journey, your student's journey. And by this, I mean, think about the obstacles that are popping up for them. What are the questions that are bouncing around in their head? Or how are they getting frustrated? What are some of those painful thoughts or just annoying, frustrating thoughts that they're having? Use these things to help you narrow in your course. So they will all help you figure out the result, the transformation, the outcome, whatever word you like, of what your course is going to do. And depending on this, figure out how your course fits into the things that are coming up for their audience. And they may not necessarily be linear. They may not have this thought before they have this thought, before they have this thought, but there's some initial questions that are coming up before they hit your course. And then there's questions that come up after they've done your course. And this is an ongoing process of really, really narrowing in on what it is your student is thinking. What is it that's coming up for them? What are they dealing with? And please don't rush this analysis or just skip over it because it's so powerful in, number one, how you're going to put your course together and how you're going to build it, but also for your marketing. And if you're stuck, if you're really like, I'm not sure and I don't know where to go on this, one thing you can do is go out to Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT and have it brainstorm with you and give you some inspiration, some ideas, and then you evaluate them to see, like, is this real or is this a hallucination of the AI? Is this something that my customer is actually experiencing, or is it making it up? So start gathering those thoughts, because you're going to then plug in your courses and your coaching into the different pieces of the puzzle for your students. Okay, step number 4, determine exactly what you're going to put into this course and what's going to be saved for other courses, other projects, coaching, other things. Like, where are the boundaries around what it is that your course is going to do? So what are the minimum steps that you need to give someone to go from where they are right now to your result or outcome? And this is a big gotcha for most of my course creators. It's not everything you know about your topic. As much as we want to be helpful and give people everything that we can share with them, we need to really be focused in on the edges of your course. And by that, I mean, where should they be when they get started? And make sure when you get started selling it, you say that, like, you need to be at this point, and this is what makes this a good course for you. And then where are you going to stop with the end of your course? And usually that's a very specific outcome and result. And depending on what happens in the middle, then you want to keep the very minimum steps to get someone through that process. And there might be lots of different options that they could have, but we want to keep it as easy and as simple and as specific as possible, because then they love you for getting them to the result faster. Okay, so question number 5, take one of those minimum steps that you're giving to get them from where they are to the result of your course. Take one of those steps, and each of the major steps are going to be the big points in your outline. So they're going to be the top level of the outline of your course. And then you fill in sub-steps for each one. So in order to do this major step A, you need to maybe do these 3 or 4 things. In order to do step B, here's the things that you need to do. And when you have that fairly detailed outline, it makes putting your course together really, really simple. And then depending on how much each step, each of the sub-steps might be a lesson, or each of the major steps might be a lesson. It just kind of depends on how much content you need for each one. And if you end up with an outline that is pages and pages long, or, a ton of steps, maybe it's something that needs to be broken out, or think about what could be taken out. Okay, then step number 6, decide what kind of course you want to have. So is it going to be video? Is it going to be voiceover? Maybe PowerPoints? Is it going to be audio only? Or maybe even written only? And base this decision on the best way for your students to learn the material. That's one consideration. And what is it you like to create? So how do you like to create content? So balance those two of what's the best way to learn and what you like to create. And then step number 7, ask yourself, is there going to be any kind of interactive component where there's group coaching or one-on-one sessions, or maybe like a Facebook group or a message board of some kind? Will you have any of that? The good news, if you do add that, you can usually put that in as a higher price point. So the DIY version is the cheapest. The higher price point, you get more connections, and you get to connect with you as the instructor. But depending on how you want to sell this, how you want to deliver it, you may or may not have that interactive component. And then finally, step 8, if you decide to pre-sell it, please make sure that you have that detailed outline put together and that you have plenty of time each week to create your course lessons. So one of my very, very toughest courses to create was my Kajabi Kickstart course, because I got a surprise notice that they were doing this incredible offer, and I wanted to be able to have the detailed course for people while it was one of the offers where you could get in for $99 for 3 months. So I wanted to walk through them for the 3 months. And I knew in general what I was going to teach, but I wasn't sure exactly how much effort it was going to take to put each week's lessons together. And it turned out to be a lot more than I thought. The course came out incredible, but let me tell you, there were some late nights trying to get the content together, and because it was so detailed, like click by click of how to use Kajabi, and so it was a lot for several months. So I don't want that to happen to you, because that can be kind of a burnout situation. I'd much rather you build out your wait list, see and kind of build some interest in your course. Make sure that there's people, there are buyers who are ready to go, and possibly get started on building out the course first, so you don't put yourself in this deadline pressure situation. And it's really, really important if you're one of the folks that gets easily distracted, or you have trouble like keeping up with deadlines, because what you don't want to do is sell a whole bunch of courses. People are expecting to get the lessons all of the time, and then you don't have them. That's not good for long-term reputation. So we want to make something that we're sure we can fit in to our lives, to what we've got going on right now. So that's how I like to address the pre-sale question. And then from here, there's 100 more decisions or more that you need to make. And so That's why I really like working directly with my students and my clients on their courses, because we get to talk through, like, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And should I do this part? And should I leave this in or save this for later? Or, all of those questions are some of the things that we end up working with. So I really hope you take this episode and kind of mull it over and bounce it around and take some notes and use it to make your next course really incredible. And I hope we get to work together soon. I promise to try to get everything together. It's been a busy few weeks around here, so it's coming. Alrighty. Take care. Have a wonderful week. I hope you have a very productive, successful, happy, enjoyable, and for all my US folks who are enjoying springtime, enjoy the week. And thanks for being here. I appreciate the time in your earbuds each week. And thank you for subscribing and reviewing and following. You're the best. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to help you with your next course. Take care.